Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I forgot how to do this. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Wednesday, the 1st of November, 2017, and this is episode 266. Our show notes are that way this time, so.
They're usually that way.
Yeah, but they're usually like more like here-ish, and they're over here today, so if we're looking that way, it's because the notes are over there. Before we get started, I wanted to say a humongous, huge thank you. Love y'all. To everyone who reached out after last week's mini episode. I got so many comments and private messages and emails and people sending love and prayers and support. And I know there was people that probably didn't even reach out, but we're still sending that our way. So I just want to say thank you so much. I'm feeling a bit more normal for me, which is not normal for other people, but the medicine levels are beginning to settle and level out. So I'm feeling a little bit better, and so thank you so much to everyone. I cried a lot because there were so many touching things that people were sending. So I just want to say thank you before we got started, and now I'm going to cry again. So we'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all of our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, nobody introduced themselves this week, so...
Or in the last week.
Or in the last 2 weeks, because we didn't have a regular episode last week.
Unless you took them out of the show notes.
I don't know that I did. Let's see. So what was last week's, if it would have been this one if I took it out. So
I don't remember saying her.
Okay, so why don't you say her?
Jess, who is a musical magpie from Toronto.
Yes. Apologies, Jess. I did my normal thing of trying to clean up the show notes last week after we recorded, and not thinking, hey, we didn't do everything. So, apologies. Welcome. Thanks for joining the group. So, Dammy, if somebody is not a member of our group, what should they do and why?
You should join and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, because you will get a shout out on our next episode, and you'll be able to participate in all our ALs and giveaways.
That's right. So this episode I am predicting is going to be a little longer than normal since we didn't record last week, and so we have quite a bit to talk about, especially in what we're watching, reading, and listening to. So, because of that, just giving you a heads up. All right, so we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what is on our needles.
Dammy, what is on your needles?
Technically still something, but technically not. So I'm just going to say I'm working on designs for our new Tickled Pink book.
Yes, because you will talk about the one you are binding off in the next segment. Yep. So your next one is going to be a cowl.
Yes.
With yarn from...
Good question. I don't remember.
Okay, well, she'll tell you next week once she casts it on. Okay, are you doing anything else except for brainstorming ideas?
No. So
Okay.
What are you doing?
So I have a couple of things. Let me get to the end here. I've got a pair of socks. These are my llamacorns and ferrets. Oh my socks.
You spelled the name of llamacorn and the name of your project differently from the yarn name.
Oops. This is from my French vanilla cappuccino sock pattern, which you can get on Ravelry. It's on US 1.5 to 2.5 mil needles. And the yarn, this main color right here, is Pendius Jewels hand-dyed yarn super sparkle in the pink fluffy llamacorn colorway. And the toe and heel are Rusty Ferret Yarns RF quadruple in the ferret face colorway. So these are shorty socks. This is leftover yarn from other projects. But I've got one shorty sock completely done. Bless you. Is that what you say when somebody hiccups?
I don't... Oh no. Keep talking.
What do you say when someone hiccups? Anyway, I've got the second one on the needles. with the toe done, and I'm working on the leg. This is the stitch marker from the It's Always Been Forever for Me Sassenach shawl kit, and this is the stitch marker Progress Keeper from the Geeky Girls Knit 5th Podiversary sock kit. So these are just kind of like car knitting or whatever, or podcast knitting, because I'm knitting on these right now. The other thing I cannot show you because it is the sample, the design sample for one of the patterns from our Tickled Pink book, which will be out in the spring. This one is a shawl on US 5, 3.75 mil needles, and the yarn is Suburban Stitcher sock. And oh my gosh, I am in love, in deep, deep, deep love with how this shawl is turning out. And I hope you guys love it as much as I do. You'll get to see it in the spring. And that's everything currently on my needles. I'm going to talk about a needle adjacent project in Yummies. But until then, we should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our finished projects.
Okay, so what have you finished this week?
I'm not technically finished anything, but I'm working on finishing the Tickled Pink socks that I have been working on right now.
You're binding off.
Well, I'm doing one more row and binding off.
So I bet it will be done by the end of the podcast. Or very close to being done.
Maybe. I don't have very much elbow room right here.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So can you tell us anything about the socks?
They're on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters, and the yarn is Neighborhood Fiber Co.
Okay. And I really love how they turned out.
Yep. Nice and easy.
Yep. But a really cool way to use mini skeins to make a pair of socks. Okay. Anything else you have in this segment?
No. So what did you finish?
Over the last 2 weeks, I finished 4 things. First up is my Autumn Leaves socks.
Leaves.
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 This is also my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles. And the yarn was All About Yarn Cuddly Owl sock in the Autumn Leaves sock blank.
Leaves.
So those are done and ready for me to wear. I love... especially on this one, there's kind of a spirally of the colors. This one is not so much, but yeah, I know they're not 100% matchy-matchy, but that's totally fine with me because I just love my socks. So I'm excited to wear those. Then I finished 2 preemie hats over the course of the last 2 weeks. So this one is number 43. Both of these are from my top-down preemie hat pattern on Ravelry. It's a free pattern, and it has sizes from, I believe, 28 weeks all the way through full term. So there's lots of sizes that you can knit. These are on US 6's 4 mil needles. This yarn, the main red color is broken pattern hand-dyed bamboo sock yarn in the Embers colorway, and in this pom-pom is a leftover yarn from the sock length socks. I'm not 100% in love with how this pom-pom turned out.
I think it's cute.
But it's fine. It's fine. So there's that one. And then this hat is very, very special. This is number 44 for the year. But do you know what this is, Dammy?
What is it?
My 100th finished project for the year.
Wow.
And we still have 2 months to go. 100th finished project. So this one, I have no clue what any of the yarns are. So what I did, I had a bunch of like 1 to 5 gram things, balls of yarn. And so what I did is this one I just had enough for the pom-pom. So I just made this pom-pom. And then what I did is I held 2 different colors together and knit with them until one ran out. And when that happened, I just added another color in its place and just kept doing that. So there's about 10 colorways. But I am just so happy with how it turned out. I mean, it looks intentional that it was just, meant to be done that way. So I'm really, really happy with how this one turned out, especially because this is my 100th finished project for the year. So, so that's number 44, preemie hat. And then the other thing I finished needs to be blocked. But I just got it off the needles yesterday. So this is the Worth the Fuss shawl aka the WTF is how she abbreviates it some places. This is the Worth of Fuss shawl pattern by Louise Tilbrook. I did this on US 6's 4mm needles, and the yarn is Ginger's hand-dyed BFL Rock Sock in the Birdie on the Shoulder colorway. Now, 2 weeks ago, you might remember that I cast on with this yarn for Louise Tilbrook's fuss-free festival shawl. And then this pattern came out. And we had this discussion on the podcast 2 weeks ago about how this might be a better option because it was just one colorway of yarn, and it was just like, there was like nothing to be like, oh, there's a little bit something different. So I was going to just like go on from where it was and just change over, but there was a slight difference in the increases between the two shawls, so I just ended up frogging and starting from scratch. So once this is blocked, it's really going to blossom out and really show that lace pattern. And this is a gift for a friend. So we will get this blocked and photographed and in the mail. But I really am pleased with how this one turned out. Yeah. I didn't have enough to do another repeat. I thought I might at first, but it ended up not being quite enough for another repeat. Which is, I would have like modified the pattern to do that. It was not written that way. So, but I love how it turned out. So that's my 4 finished projects for this last 2 weeks. So we should move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. Before we go on, because I know somebody's going to ask, I'm wearing my I Drink More Coffee Than a Gilmore shirt, and I totally coordinated because I have my Stars Hollow socks on my feet. That's yarn from No Makers. And somebody's going to ask about the earrings. These are the molecular structure of caffeine with the little coffee to-go cup at the bottom. And I got these on Etsy from somebody in the UK like a year and a half ago, but I don't remember who. So, but you could probably search caffeine molecular structure earrings.
Caffeine molecule.
Yeah, on Etsy and find them. So somebody was going to ask, so I'm just telling you that now. So this was actually a recommendation from our hosts that were living in their home right now. Can you see our reflection in there, Dammy?
No, because your hand is in the way. No, the comb is in the way.
No, I see I'm saying your reflection is right there.
I know, the comb is covering up where it is in the camera. Just talk about it.
No, it's showing.
No, but the comb in real life is covering up where the comb is on the camera, on the screen. So I can't see it.
You can't see your reflection right there?
No.
Okay. I can see it. This is the Collins Defuzz It Fabric and Sweater Comb. Dammy, would you like to demonstrate on your cardigan?
Oh, I didn't know we were going to do that.
Or just show them how it works.
Sure.
So you have to hold the sleeve, like the part taut, and then you just comb it like you would comb your hair. And can you see? There's fuzz. So you do that. So the reason she got one is because one of our hosts is because she had, they had traveled to the UK. That's all I won't do anymore. To the UK, I believe last year, and she bought a sweater, a cabled sweater, and it was starting to peel really bad. And she just ignore her. She likes
not
to
peel. The yarn doesn't peel like a banana. It pills. Little fuzz pills.
Fizz buzz, have a banana. And so she had ordered one of these, and she was showing us how good it did. And I'd been needing to get something because I have several things that are
Pilling.
So I'm excited to use this.
If
And
you look at the word, it's P-I-L-L, not P-E-E-L.
And it was under $5 on Amazon. There's a link in the show notes. Okay. Today, November the 1st, is day 1 of Nanny Swimmo!
Have you cast on your sweater yet?
No, not yet. Nanny Swemo is National Knit a Sweater in a Month. It's a challenge to knit a sweater of 50,000 or more stitches in a month. I have done it, I think this is my 5th year.
5th year?
I believe so, because I think I did it all 4 years in Edinburgh.
I don't remember you doing it all 4 years.
Hold that thought. I'm going to look it up. Sweaters. Look on my project. Last year I did the Sugar Maple. The year before I did the Fairchild. The year before I did the Miranda. The year before I did the Ho Aloha.
Oh, okay.
So this is year 5. And I'm actually re-knitting a sweater that I knit for myself in 2016. You might remember it, the Puntilla, which is a pattern by Joji Locatelli. And I knit it, and it's an oversized sweater, and then I lost all that weight, and so it was like big enough to fit like 2 of me in. So before we left the UK, I frogged it, and I'm going to re-knit it in a smaller size. So this is in my Outlander bag, Java Pearl Designs. It has always been forever for me, Sassenach bag. And I have all of the yarn balled up. So this colorway this is from Knitting in France, and this is a 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver stellina in the colorway Something About Cece, which is another reason I had to frog it and reknit it, because this yarn was inspired by me and I loved it so. And then the little bit of coordinating, because you do some lace on the cuffs and the hem of the sweater. So this yarn right here is from Ripple's Craft hand-dyed yarn. It's a 60% wool, 20% silk, 20% yak colorway, and it's the Piquin colorway, which is Afrikaans for penguin. So that'll be that. So I have everything here in my bag, and I'm going to cast on while the podcast is processing. And it feels like in years past I've gotten done by around like somewhere between like day 15 and 20. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's ever taken me the full month. Now, when I knit this in 2016, it took me
3 months.
No, just over 2 months. Oh. But I was knitting other things at the same time. So
viewed 302 times.
Yes. So the only thing I'll be knitting on this month to start with is that sweater and the preemie hat of the week, which I do during church. And then if I'm in some place where where it's not logical to pull out a full sweater, I have the socks that I can knit on, But I'm very, very excited about this sweater. If you go to the show notes, I've put a link to the Nanny Swemo Ravelry group that you can join, and it's got lots of lovely people in it. There's been discussion about how you can estimate how many stitches your sweater will have to see if it's over 50,000. There is a prize thread, so everybody who finishes a sweater of 50,000 or more stitches in the month is eligible for prizes. I've donated a few, like I do every year. And Tin Can Knits did a post on their blog yesterday about Nanny Swemo. I can't remember. I think it's especially featuring the 2 patterns that we reviewed a couple weeks ago. The Dogwood and Dog Star and something else. I can't remember. But a Tin Can Knits pattern would be a great pattern to do for Nanny Swemo. My mouth is getting dry. Apologies. So I'm very excited to cast that on, and I will be posting on social media every day my progress. And I cannot wait to cast on. And this one is actually a really good one for Nanny Swemo because it's primarily stockinette in the round. So, so I'm really excited to cast it on. All right, Dammy, do we have any other yummies other than our normal stuff?
I think so.
Okay, so let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like, but we pick our favorites from Instagram.
So the November list is live because today is November the 1st. And the theme for this month is mostly about being thankful and gratitude. There's a few other things thrown in because we couldn't do thankful every day. I mean, I guess we could, but that was just not how we did it. So there's just some like autumnal and Thanksgiving and things like that in there as well. Dammy, get your cold toes off of me before I do something to you. She has no socks on and she's putting, don't put your cold toes on me. No! No!
Okay.
Where's the button?
I don't know.
Darth Vader button. No!
Okay.
Okay, so what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos.
It's like a reflex. You and Daddy both do it.
We do.
Yes.
Does that mean that we are becoming more and more like each other as the years go by?
No.
Okay. Great job, everybody, on your photos. Dammy and I are discussing that I tend to...
You did that one on
I
purpose.
did that one on purpose. Take drinks in the middle of a sentence. I did do that one on purpose. So great job, everybody, for your photos. It's never too late to join in. You just looked at the prompt for the day. So, for example, today, November the 1st, the prompt is 4 o'clock. Now, I'm going to assume that most people are not going to do 4 o'clock a.m. So I have an alarm set on my phone for 4 o'clock p.m. so I don't miss it. You can interpret the prompts however you want. As we were saying this month, we're focusing on thankfulness. So I don't remember if it's like 4 or 5 times that thankful is in the prompts list. So each time you can do something different. Like I could do I'm thankful for the hubs. I can do I'm thankful for Dammy. I can do I'm thankful for coffee. I can do I'm thankful for knitting.
Kitty.
For kitties. For knitting. For my pink hair. For anything pink. Etc. I did re-pink my hair yesterday, so it's a little bit brighter. So you take that photo, interpret it however you want. You post it on Instagram. In the caption, make sure you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad because that's how we find you. Because if we can't find you, we can't take your picture. Yeah, so join in on the fun. We have a couple of upcoming events that we're going to be attending. First up, you or me?
I will do it.
Okay.
You don't have to do that. You just... This weekend, Saturday the 4th, we will be at Vogue Knitting Live.
Yes. So it's looking like we're going to arrive somewhere between like 10:30 and 11. And...
Yeah, early.
Oh, honey, we have to catch the ferry at like 8 something.
That's early.
I know. And then
It's a Saturday.
It's a
so we
Saturday.
should be sleeping in.
I'm sorry. We'll probably spend most of the day there. We won't stay like into the evening probably. I would imagine that we'll probably maybe around 3 or 4 head out to come back to Bremerton because we have to take the bus and then take the ferry from Seattle back over to Bremerton. So if you're there, look for us. I've got pink hair. You can't miss me. And Dammy is usually right by my side, or in my very close proximity, unless I have sent her for coffee, which is important. And then the following weekend, on Saturday the 11th of November, we will be at Knit Fit Seattle. I have not, I've looked to see like how to get there, but I can't remember timing. But we'll have that for you for next week. It's in Seattle proper. Vogue Knitting Live is actually in Bellevue. So it's a little further for us, but that's fine. So we're very excited. If you see us, come say hi. We are happy to take pictures and chat and all that kind of stuff. Should I tell them the story about what happened on Saturday?
What happened on Saturday?
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. So, we're part of the Anglican Church of North America, and our diocese, Cascadia, which is kind of like the region, for those who don't know this language, it's kind of like the region with lots of churches in it, but over this like whole region. I don't know where the boundaries of the region are, but anyway, so they were having their annual synod, which is like was it 2 or 3 days? I'm not sure. I think 2 days, where there was like some workshops and teachings and different things. And then on Saturday afternoon, they had their, main service.
Oh my gosh.
The hubs is sneaking through the hallway, trying not to creak on the
These
floor.
floorboards don't creak.
They don't really tend to creak that I found. Anyway, so they had like their like worship service type thing, but there was also ordination of a couple of guys to the diaconate. So we went to the service, and I had noticed this woman sitting, I don't know, maybe 2 rows in front of us. She was wearing a shawl that I knew was hand knit. It was gorgeous. It was pink. I mean, how could I miss it? And I was like, oh, I should like say hello to her or whatever. But it was so crowded that I was like, okay, that's not going to happen. But she sought me out, and she said to me, I saw your husband and couldn't figure out where I knew him from. She was like, I thought maybe I'd seen him in another church event or whatever, etc. And then she said, and then I looked right next to him and saw you, and I was like, of course, that's the hubs from Instagram. So she recognized Russ before she saw me. She just didn't know where she knew him from. So it was funny. But so we took a picture together, and it's the 3 of us, and it's on Instagram. Actually, I think I posted it to all the social medias, cross-posting. But she's going to be at Vogue Knitting Live this weekend, so hopefully we will get a chance to meet up with her again. So it was lovely. She's a designer. Arabian Knits. And you guys know I'm bad with names, so I cannot remember what her name is. Apologies.
I think it's Renee.
Possibly. I'm sorry. I'm really bad with names. It's the fibromyalgia. So anyway, so that was just funny. So we had a nice laugh about the fact that Russ was recognized because of being on my Instagram. So anyway, okay. Well, we were like, oh, this will be a short little segment. I will just hold my coffee and drink. It wasn't. Sorry. So let's move on to the next one.
To talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
She's trying to put her cold toes.
I was not. That was not my intention.
Mm-hmm. So you better like make sure you're sitting down with something to drink.
Are you sitting comfortably?
Because this is going to be a long segment. Just forewarning you, because it's 2 weeks worth of TV, and most of our shows are back on. So let's start though with reading. What are you reading, Dammy?
I'm reading The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I haven't gotten a lot of progress on it still.
Because you've been knitting and submitting college application, all that fun stuff.
Yes, I did that yesterday.
Yeah, because one of the colleges you're looking at had an early admission deadline. So we have been working on essays and such, Dammy writing, and then the hubs and I proofing and brainstorming with you and such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, what have you been reading?
Well, I didn't make any progress on my nonfiction because my brain was so foggy because of the fibromeds. So It's still on my iPad, though, and I will get back to it. Uninvited by Lisa Turkhurst. But I did read a lot of fiction because my brain could handle that. So, I do believe that all of these are Kindle Unlimited books, which is a subscription-based thing where you pay $9.99 a month, and there's this whole database of books that you can read for free.
For free?
Or you can read because of the
Subscription.
I said for free because on Amazon it says read for free.
But it's not for free.
I know, but that's what the button says.
But it's not for free.
I know.
Okay, what have you been reading?
Okay, so I finished reading the Black Cat Cafe Cozy Mystery Series by Lindsay Cole. I read books 6 through 11. I read The Haunting of Winchester Mansion series by Alexandria Clark. There was 3 books in that series thus far. I read the Professor series by Alexandria Clark. There was 3 books in that. I read the Beechwood Harbor Magic Mystery series by Danielle Garrett. There was 5 books there. I read the second book in the Cree Blue Psychic Eye Mystery series by Kate Allenton. That one was called Deadly Vows. I read Hooked and Cooked series by Lindsay Cole, books 1 through 6. But I just saw this morning that a 7th book just released. So that's on my I keep like a wish list of Kindle Unlimited books because I can add them there and then it'll show what date they're going to actually release. So I have and then also like if I run across other books that I want to read that are Kindle Unlimited, I put them on that list because you can only have 10 Kindle Unlimited books checked out at a time. So, and then I'm currently reading the Little Girl Lost series by Alexandria Clark. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of Alexandria Clark because she's a new author to me and I'm enjoying her reading. So I finished book 1 and I started book 2. So all of those books are mystery, usually cozy mystery, but there's also some of them have fantasy with witches and ghosts and werewolves and things in them because that genre is apparently my BFF or something. I don't know. So, all right. Everybody take a sip. Okay, are you ready for movies? Do you want to start with the first one? And the first 2, actually.
Sure. We watched Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a, like, oh my gosh, you must see it now movie for me.
And then we watched Spider-Man Homecoming, which I thought was okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And then I have been Hallmark watching, because did you know, between this past week and New Year's, there's 33 new movies, Christmas movies, on Hallmark and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channels. 33 new movies. So just be prepared that I'm going to be talking about Hallmark movies every week for the next few weeks. Next 2 months, I mean. So they were finishing up their autumn such, and so I watched the Haley Dean mystery Dating is Murder, and then I watched A Harvest Wedding, and then I watched Darrow and Darrow, which has what's his name in it from The Flash, Kavanaugh.
Henry?
No, Tom.
Harry?
Tom Kavanaugh.
I don't know.
I think that's what his name is. So that was really pretty good, and then I watched Marry Me at Christmas. I started watching Poldark after several people had recommended it to me. I watched all of Series 1, and I'm watching Series 2 now. Oh my gosh, I watched the finale of Series 1, and then the start of Series 2 yesterday, and I'm like, I was sitting in the bed, I'm in our bed, knitting, and with the computer in front of me, and I was like, crying, and Rose and Dammy came in separately for something, and they're both like, are you okay? Is something wrong? And they died, and oh my gosh, and that whole thing is what I did, because oh my gosh, it was like, so, do you want to talk about the next one so I can have some coffee? But then it makes you in the way.
Yeah, we're watching season 15 of NCIS. This is all stuff she wrote. You.
Hi.
I can't see with your hand in the way.
Okay.
So Abby and Jimmy got Hamilton stuck in her head.
Yes.
And Abby was making zombie apocalypse survival kits. And there's a new agent.
So that was the episode from 2 weeks ago.
Yes, and Reeves admitted he's an alcoholic after he was tricked by a woman from his group to try and cover a crime she committed. That's a run-on sentence.
I know.
And Tony memed McGee from Paris, but Tony got him back.
No, McGee got him back.
But McGee got him back with another meme.
About him. It was funny. I was like, Tony! We're referencing Tony, so cool. Yeah, most of these, we're talking about 2 different episodes. Mm-hmm. So, Hubs and I are watching NCIS New Orleans, Season 4. There was a spooky Halloween episode. And then there was an episode about Sebastian killed a man who shot at him, but it was a really tough case to crack because the gun was plastic and air-powered and used glass bullets. But he was cleared. They solved the crime. We're watching Season 4 of The Flash. There are 12 metas who weren't caused by the particle accelerator explosion. And Cecile and Joe are having a baby. And Kid Flash is leaving to find himself. And they figured out how the metas were created. It had to do with when they pulled Barry out of the Speed Force. It did something and there was a bus with 12 people on it. And him coming out of the Speed Force and whatever was happening caused everyone on the bus to become a meta. So, why don't you cover like the next 2?
Okay, we're watching Season 5 of The Blacklist. The doctor who had been helping them was murdered, and then Reddington found out that Tom is the one who has been interfering.
Yes.
And then we're watching Season 13 of Criminal Minds. The first one was a military contractor keeping secrets about murders. And then the second one, Morgan came back to help Garcia because she was having flashbacks to when she was shot.
Oh, I was like, it's Morgan. He's coming back. We saw it like in the credits before he came back, and Dammy was like, oh, look. I'm like, oh my gosh, Morgan's coming back. But it was just for this episode, but it was very nice. I'm watching Series 8 of Doc Martin. The first episode, Miss Tishel is not adjusting well to her husband's passing. And then the other episode, Doc tore a ligament in his foot, and there were sheep and alpacas that were getting stolen, but they found them, and Joe is struggling with loneliness. Joe is the police person in the town, and he's very lonely. And then I'm watching Season 13 of Supernatural. Michael needs Lucifer for some reason in the alternate universe. Jack, which is the Nephilim, cannot be killed with an angel blade. And the 4th Prince of Hell has taken over for Lucifer, and he wants Jack to open a part of hell where some strange creatures are living. And then in the second episode, Jodie's back. Dean worked with Jodie, and by the by, I love her hair. I'm seriously considering doing that for my hair. So the sides and back are pretty similar to what I have, maybe just a smidge longer. But she has these beautiful like bangs that swoop here, and the top is a smidge longer, and then she's got these beautiful sideburns.
I'm worried that will still give you migraines.
We will see, because I have really, really, really thick hair, and so it pulls if it's got very much length, and gives me more migraines than I already get. So we don't need that. Nobody needs that drama. Anyway, I really loved her hair. And Sam tried to help Jack with his powers, and then Sam and Dean fought about Jack, and then Jack contacted Castiel. Castiel is alive. Where is he? Oh my gosh. And they didn't put him in the credits at the beginning. They put him in the credits at the end, so we didn't know that he was going to be in the episode. So where is he? Is he in some weird in-between? Is he coming back? Castiel. Oh my gosh. Alright. Then, Season 6 of Arrow. The photo of Oliver as the Arrow was faked, and John isn't doing well after being injured on the island, and then Oliver asks John to take over him as the Arrow so his son won't lose another parent, but Oliver doesn't know that John is injured. And then John is really struggling with being the Arrow, and he's using some kind of injections to stop the tremors he's having. Which is, is going to end up there's going to be something bad happen with that. And then Oliver wants Felicity to be part of his and his son's lives. because he had told her, I need to focus on my son. But she ended up coming over and helping him with some homework, and it was just really, the way they related was really cool. Okay, you want to talk about the next one?
I talk about this one.
Yes.
We're watching season 3 of Blind Spot. So everyone is all back together, but Roman gave Jane new tattoos and is out to get her, and everyone has a secret apparently.
Yes, they all have secrets. I watched the Halloween special of The Good Witch. It was about the town curse, which ended up being not really a curse. It was really a pretty nice thing. Watching season 9 of NCIS LA, Sam's friend was forced to commit a crime or his family would die, and they're still trying to find Hetty, but they've had no luck. Season 11 of The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon was using his eyes to do Morse code. It was very weird. It was pretty funny. And Penny and Leonard were using a parenting book on Sheldon. It was really funny. You want to talk about the next one? You want me to?
Yeah.
Supergirl season 3, John's father is alive, and he's...
Carl Lumley.
Yes, but what was his character's name and alias?
I don't know.
I
remembered the actor name.
Yeah, he is from Alias, and oh my gosh, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Maggie's father cannot accept who she is, which is very sad. And the second episode was about the cult of Supergirl, that one of the guys on the plane that Kara saved when she first became Supergirl, when she saved her sister, he started a cult of people who had been saved by Supergirl, but some of the people were causing accidents to happen so that they could be saved by Supergirl. So, Murdoch Mysteries season 11. The murderer tried to stage the deaths as mercy killings of the elderly. And then I watched 2 episodes of Outlander. Season 3, episode 6 was A. Malcolm. And we saw how Claire got to the print shop. And then we had seen how Claire got to the print shop. But we had not seen what Jamie was doing prior to Claire coming to the print shop. And so that was interesting. And then Jamie and Claire are finally back together again. I'm so excited. And then Jamie finding out about Brianna and the photos that Claire had brought. And Jamie was in shock and aghast at seeing that Brianna was wearing a bikini. So that was I forgot to say, Outlander is not safe for children. Do not let your children watch or read. It is not safe. Okay. And then we got to see Fergus and Claire, their meeting after 20 years. And then the line, "It's always been forever for me, Sassenach." That was in that episode. And I was like, oh my gosh, my pattern. It's called "It's Always Been Forever for Me, Sassenach, Shawl, Outlander, and Spider." So, we got to see young Ian, and he had only heard of Claire, his aunt, because I thought Winksy was coming down. The place where we're staying now, they have a cat. Her name is Periwinkle, but they call her Winks or Winksy for short. And she's a little skittish of people, but she's getting to know us a little better, and we're able to pet her sometimes. And yesterday she had a toy, and she was under the table. I was working at the table, and she would nudge it to me with her nose right to my foot, and then want me to use my foot to nudge it back to her. So I feel like we're getting a little bit of connection. She likes your closet. Mm-hmm. She wants to hide in there. It's funny. Okay. And then second episode, season 3, episode 7 was called Creme de Menthe. And Claire was trying to save the guy who assaulted her. So at the end of the previous episode, this guy was in her room when she came back, and he was looking for something, and then he was trying to assault Claire, and Claire fought him off, but in the process he hit his head on the stone fireplace, and he had a hematoma in his head, and she tried to release the pressure and everything, but he didn't survive. So, but it was that thing of her being a doctor, and that she because Jamie didn't understand why she was trying to save him, but this thing of because of the oath she had taken as a doctor. Now, in the books, somebody help me remember, because I haven't read in a little bit. Wasn't Mr. Campbell a reverend in the books and not a... well, his sister, he's saying, is a seer, and so he, like that. I thought he was a reverend in the books, but I could be wrong. So help me remember if you remember. And then Ian, like not young Ian, young Ian's father, seen Claire and very confused, and Jamie was lying to him about that young Ian had come to him because young Ian kept running away from home, and Jamie would send him back, and then he came again. And anyway. And then the print shop was set on fire accidentally because young Ian was trying to keep this excise guy from finding stuff in the shop, and he found it, and there was a fight, and then a fire got started, and Jamie had to rush in to save young Ian, but the fire shop is gone. The print shop is gone because of the fire. And Jamie has still not told Claire that he married Leary during the 20 years they were separated. He wasn't in love with Leary. He married her to help because her husband passed and she had children and she needed somebody to help her, and so he married her. This is the books. In the books, anyway, he married her to help take care of her and because she's widowed with children. But
Okay.
so, but it's going to all come to head in the next week or two. Just FYI. Okay, that was all of the stuff that we've been reading, watching, and listening to. Oh my gosh, I told you it was going to be long. All right, we have more stuff to talk about. Let's move on to the next segment.
We didn't talk about what we're listening to.
Oh.
You can cut that out if you want, or I can stop it here.
No, that's okay. Let's just keep going because you guys know I make mistakes. Sorry, I thought we were ready for the owl already. So I have been listening to the Spotify CC and Dammy Love Musicals playlist, which there's a link in the show notes. And you said that you're going to make a list for us of holiday musicals songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming like White Christmas, Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we just need a holiday songs playlist where we can put the musicals and other holiday songs we like.
I'll think about it.
You think about it. We also listened to some Christy Nockels when we were driving the other day. And then what have you been listening to?
I've been listening to Ghost Quartet, Anastasia, the Broadway cast, and the Hadestown off-Broadway cast, and the concept album by Grace Mitchell.
Yes. Okay, now that's everything. So now, let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our September, October, November artistic autumnal owl.
That's right.
Although it's just now a November owl.
Yes.
You can't go back in time.
No. So this started on the 1st of September and it ends the
30th of November. My feet aren't cold anymore.
You and your cold toes. So this started... It's going to be the hiccups and cold toes episode. It started...
Don't name the episode that.
It started at the beginning of September and it runs through the 30th of November. And it's for any project you knit, crochet... Okay, so 2 rules. Main rules. Any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin... so all the Ravelry crafts that you can convince us is related to autumn. And if you need a fallback, you created it in the autumn. Because it's the autumn right now. Second main rule is no whips are allowed. So you have to start the project September 1st or later and finish it by the 30th of November. Feel free to polydip in other owls. That's totally fine with us. Okay, this is the first podcast of the month, so we're going to talk about our prizes in detail.
Oh boy.
So do you want to start or do you want me to?
Sure. We have a Charlie Brown needle holder from Kimmery's Knit-Knacks and autumnal stitch markers.
We have a skein of Gnome Acre Stars hollow yarn, which I'm wearing on my feet. I from another skein. I'm wearing it on my feet right now. This was donated by Kelly Cron.
We have a issue 8 of Pom Pom Quarterly, donated by Ramona Firehorse.
We have a copy of the Nala's Big Sister shawl pattern by Amanda Raitt.
Donated by the designer.
That's right.
A bicycle project bag by Knit Run Dig that is gently used in a Harry Potter wand keychain.
An embroidery tote bag from Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I need to embroider mine. I haven't done that yet.
You don't have any embroidery thread.
I can get some. We can go to a craft store.
A copy of the Beach Hut Socks pattern by Zoe Carter.
A Ravelry pattern of up to $6 donated by an anonymous sponsor.
A coffee project bag from January Designs Co. on Etsy.
And a Doctor Who project bag from January Designs Co. on Etsy. So you'll be seeing all of these on the screen right now. We'd like to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors for supporting the OWL in this way. If you'd like to know more about these prizes, you want to see bigger pictures, you want to link to the shops, go to
geekygirlsknit.com.
and you will find them there. You have to be a member of the Ravelry group to participate. Every project you finish and post in the FO thread is one entry into the giveaways. If you have more than one of something, say for example that you knit a shawl and a hat, you need to post those as separate items in the FO thread, because we don't go through and go, oh, she posted 6 things in this one photo, she gets 6 entries. We use the number of the post with random number generator to draw for winners. So if you post multiple things in one post, you're only getting one entry into the giveaway. So you need to post them in separate posts. Okay?
And avoid deleting posts
if
in
possible.
the thread if you can, because that messes with the numbering.
That's right.
Because if you posted post number 699, but then you delete that post, the next post in the thread is number 700, not number 699.
That's not as big a deal, because we do the random number generator off camera. Yeah. And then just tell you the numbers on when we announce them, just because we figured out that it's faster to do that. The social media hashtag, sorry, I have coffee in my hand, is hashtag GGK Autumn 17. We will lock the FO thread the morning of the 1st of December, and we'll announce prize winners on the next podcast after that. If you are a prize winner, you'll have 30 days to claim your prize, or you forfeit it. Okay? There's a chatter thread in the Ravelry group where you can talk with others who are working on projects, and that's where Dammy gives shout outs. And Dammy, we have a ton of shout outs today for people who finish projects, because not only was it the end of the month yesterday, but we have 2 weeks worth of people to announce, to give shout outs to. So, go.
Okay. Aidbar, Alchemy, Allison Roseboom, Another Yarn 9, Army Tinko 8, Artist Maybe, Asteride, Bright D, Busy Mom of 2, Cafe O Yarn, Carrie Ann 77, Chiefy, CJ Bullion, Collie and Stitch Girl, Country Bumps, Crafts Untold, Crafty Sarah, Crafty Textile Lady, D-Door 4, Deb Knits 2, Delaney 33, DG White, DJ ID, DKF Mom, Eileen D, Aaron Ireland, Falling Star 12, Frymeister, Gemma Bell, Girl in Knots, Hazy Summers, I Knit Socks 2, Inky Minky 184, Jalarima, JP Music 15, Kana Soup, Karen Louise 59, Carlene Page, Kenneth Allen, Kernow Princess, Kirsty S, Knit and Read, Knit Central, Knit Crazy Kate, Knit Live Love, Knitter Chow, Lil Angel SG2, El McCall, Lollyball, MOES Crochet, Mona Moon, Mystery Sewer, Penny Gale, Phoenix Fire, Psycho Hulakian, Pukaz Lagrada, RMB Knitter, Shirley Knits 123, Siberian Cat, SOE Dragon, Tabby S80, Twisting Pearls, Texas Woman 5031, VT Kimmy Kim, Whistlin' Liz, and Yarn Taxi Driver.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of stuff, y'all. I heard a noise. I wonder if it was the delivery out front. We will check after we go off air. Great job, everybody. So keep working on those projects. You have 1 month to go to get them posted, and we'll announce winners at the beginning of next month. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it is time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
Yes, so this week's question is for me. So what is it, Danny?
This is from Rhonda, who is dueling needles from Pennsylvania.
I did not spell it that way.
Cece,
yes.
You quite often mention that you knit while you read. How did you learn to knit while reading? Do you only knit socks on the 9-inch needles while knitting? While reading?
It should be written about while reading.
More complicated projects?
Okay.
Go.
So, it's usually either, like you were saying, the 9-inch circulars, where you just knit round and round in circles, or a simple project, stockinette in the round, or garter stitch. I can do that as well. If it's got cables or lace, unless it's just like, well, for example, on the Worth the Fuss shawl, it's mostly garter and then just 4 rows for the lace until you get to the end, because you do a big lace section towards the end. So I did read while knitting this. I just would like take a break from reading while I did the lace. And so that's that part of the question. Okay, so how did I learn to knit while reading? Well, it's the same thing. Like I can go to the movie theater, the cinema, and knit in the dark if it's again, on the round around on the 9-inch, or a garter project, or a stockinette in the round project. I've just learned, I don't know how I learned. It was just, I don't know. My brain just accepted it, and it just, every once in a while, like I have been in the cinema before and dropped a stitch, and then the project had to go away until I was somewhere with light. Unless it was like a bright scene on the film, on the movie theater, and I could fix it. So that's how I am able to do that. So how I actually do it, so like my iPad is not in the case right now because we're recording with it, but I have one of these cases with really cool fandom stickers on it. That's 11, TARDIS, 10.
Mom, this isn't what the question is about.
The cat hats, Winnie the Pooh, River, and coffee. So my iPad case, I can fold it up to where it's a triangle. And then so it will sit like this. And so I sometimes do reading like this. And it depends on so when I'm knitting on the 9-inch circulars, I knit English style. So I usually, I throw. So I usually put it over on my left side so that I can like keep the yarn tensioned, and I can just let go and tap the screen to go to the next. If I'm knitting continental, where I'm picking, I will put this on this side because I have the yarn.
On her right side.
Yes, on my right side, because I can knit continental on this. It just hurts my wrist, so I don't. So I have the yarn tensioned over here, so I will use. I use my pinky usually to turn the page, so I just do that. So sometimes I'll put it like this and read like this, but I also have this pillow that I ordered from a seller on Etsy years ago, but I'm sure you can find something similar. So the top part here has just like fiber fill in it, and then down here in the bottom one, it's got like pellets. And so what you can do when I do this, I have my case just like this, and you set the pillow on the bed, and then this extra part like comes out like this, and you can set your iPad or a regular book or whatever like this on it, and it will hold it up. Because I prefer actually to read up and down like this, but if we're traveling out somewhere, like we were on the ferry or whatever, and I wanted to read, I tend to do it more this way, because I don't usually take the pillow with me. But this, I also read in bed this way. If I'm just reading and not knitting, I do it like this, and I will just sit the pillow on, I'm laying down, and I'll just sit the pillow on my stomach and read that way. So, yeah, but I set whichever way I do it, I set the iPad on the side where I'm not tensioning the yarn. And then I just use a finger to swipe. On this side, I just use, sometimes I use a finger to swipe, or because it's the opposite way, or I'll just tap it to turn the page. That was a long, drawn-out thing to explain to you how I'm reading. But, I tend to read stuff, as y'all know, that is something where, like, if I need to take my attention away to look at the knitting, it's real easy to get back into it because it's a fiction story. So, did I answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how I read while I knit. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for the question. If you have a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
And we tend to answer them in order unless they're time sensitive. We did get a few questions in after I mentioned that we were running out of questions. But please feel free to post questions. We will answer them about pretty much anything. So just post a question and we will answer it for you. All right, let's move on to the next segment. We made it to the end of the show. Oh my gosh, I cannot even venture a guess at how long this episode is. Because we had a lot to talk about. I don't think we have any announcements about anything. Again, we'll be at Vogue Knitting Live this weekend on Saturday, and we're planning to take hopefully some video and photos and such to share with y'all next week on the podcast. And again, if you're going to be there, we'd love to say hi. So if you see us, just please come up to us. We're happy to chat with you. Or if you want to send me a PM on Ravelry, I'm Java Pearl, and we can see about, I don't know, like, scheduling a time or place there to meet up or something. Whatever, something like that. So if you're going to come, we'd love to meet up with you. We'd like to say a huge thank you. We love you guys a lot. To everyone who supports the podcast. And there are numerous ways to do that. Watching, commenting, thumbs up on YouTube, episode thread on Ravelry, Instagram, etc., etc. But we would like to say a huge thank you to those who support the podcast financially, because it does cost money to do a podcast. So the main way, there's 3 ways you can do it. The first is via Patreon, which is a site where you can support your favorite creatives, whether they're podcasters, artists, singers, etc., etc. So what that is you pledge a certain amount every month and you get rewards based on your pledge. So I will be doing rewards for October, beginning of next week, because we don't normally get our...
I don't know what you're trying to say.
The email that shows like everybody who has paid.
I don't know.
Anyway, they don't do the report for that until we don't receive that till the 6th of every month. So I'll be doing that next week. So if you're expecting a Patreon reward, it'll be going out next week. I have to find where the post office is from where we're staying. So I will do that. So if you want to know more about that, or you want to sign up, you can go to
patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
Almost said no, but that's right. What's another way, Dammy?
There is a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
Yes. And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .canada affiliates. If you click through our website to take you to Amazon, we get a little money back based on what you purchase. It does not cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you'd be doing anyway. This time of year tends to be a higher thing because more sales because of gift shopping for Christmas. So back to school and this time of year tend to be our big times. So, Dammy, if they want to find out more about any of this or want to know where to find us online, what should they do?
You can go to geekygirlsknit.com, and there are links to everywhere else you can find us online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. Well, with that, thanks for sticking with us through the long episode. And again, thank you so much to everybody who reached out after our episode last week. We really, really appreciate it. This community, the whole fiber community is just amazing, but we are very, very grateful, and we really, really love the community that has formed around Geeky Girls Knit over the past 5 years. So thank you again to everybody for your kindness, and we really appreciate y'all a lot. Okay, with that, before I start crying again, we're going to say goodbye. Happy knitting. We'll see you next week, or maybe at Vogue Knitting Live in Seattle this weekend. All right, talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Winksy. Hi. What are you waiting for, Winksy? What are you waiting for? Winksy. Periwinkle. Hi, pretty kitty.
Hi.
What do you want, sweetheart? Meow. Are you going to eat some food? talking to us.
There's a toy in your food bowl. She likes to put her toys in her food bowl for safekeeping.
And to stare at the door so people will let her outside.
But we don't let her outside. Only her people let her outside because she's still kind of skittish with us. Oh, that was a big yawn. She's still kind of skittish with us, so we're afraid if we let her out that we'll have problems getting her back in. So we just let her people, our hosts, let her out when they're home. Oh, you can't reach, sweetheart. Oh, I know. You can't reach though, babe. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you later.